me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but
hello folks, Richard Moore, USAGSA. I'll talk with you about, well, a couple of stories that I've already covered. But I haven't given you the details that I think that there's no time like the present. And I think you'll be able to appreciate these details in the scheme of things when it comes to exposing criminals with badges and corruption and these corrupt community programs and the fake churches that support these programs. I'm going to give you some details that haven't, it's not new to me, but it's going to be new to my audience nationwide. It is alarming, but unless these type of facts are be told, I believe it's going to continue to be business as usual. And so I do have some alarming facts, and I think that you will find them alarming too, as it involves sheriff, ministry, and abject racism, murder, cover-up, etc. It's unbelievable, folks. But I'm going to get through it real quick for you. But before I jump into it, in the description of this video is the various ways you can support USAGSA. We're 100% supported by you. Of course, those that support and follow USAGSA know that there's no part of what we do here has anything to do with financial gain. Fame or fortune has got, and grabbing for the spotlight hasn't got anything to do with it. If you want to take a stand with USAGSA, I encourage you to become a patron on Patreon. That link is in there. You can be a free member in Patreon, and it's kind of a conduit for all the things that we do here. Also, there's a link in there to my Substack, where I, as an investigative journalist, have written extensively about these programs, their tactics, and the people behind them, and also giving voice to the voiceless. You can be a free or paid subscriber there and support, or you can hit the super thanks here. There's several ways that you can take a stand with us. If you believe that the very fabric of this nation has been undermined, if you believe in God and country and this Constitution of the United States of America is applicable to all Americans, I encourage you to take a stand with us. I continue to harp of how the fake news covers and runs interference for this criminal enterprise. And they continue to do it. So to bring you up to speed on what's really going on, last week there was a viral video. It showed a 17-year-old white boy with a pistol, loaded pistol. He's filming this. He's on the property of a 13-year-old black boy. He pistol whips him. He calls him a bitch, nigger, tells him to do jumping jacks and to run and everything else. made him and dehumanized him and humiliated him for the whole world. And folks, let me tell you, there's not many things that I had personally witnessed. I mean, and I've been around. I've seen things and have sat down at the table with Satan himself. Take my word for it. I will tell you this, folks. When I saw this video, and it's on this channel as well, I'm still absolutely in shock, because when you watch this, you know that boy didn't pick this up from watching television. He learned it. Who did he learn it from? Well, we know, folks, that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. You train up a child the way that's the way that works. I'm sure people get off the reservation, but they don't get off the reservation like this. This is something that is bred, this abject racism, and it's very clear. It was only until he posted the video and it got millions of views through public outcry. Crooked Eddie Hawkins, the sheriff of Lowndes County, Mississippi, reluctantly pressed a misdemeanor charge against him. In other words, he didn't want to do that. He just did that to shut him up. To shut who up? Those people. You people. We the people. That's what he wanted to pacify. And that's all he's going to do, at best. Several people didn't like that. This last Saturday, I wasn't aware if this was taking place down there in Columbus. I'm not in the loop. For whatever reason, I'm not in the loop. And I know I've got a lot of viewers in Lowndes County, that area down there. But when I tell you I'm not in the loop, I'm not in the loop. Not like somebody picks the phone up and calls me and lets me know. Wherever you're watching this, if something's going on in your city or town, your county or state, and you think I need to know about it, my contact information is in the description there. When I bring stories to my viewers and I go public, I'm going to tell you, folks, I get just about every one of them. I get them the hard way. Like John Houseman used to say, he was a pitch man for Smith Barney. He was an Englishman. Said, we make money the old-fashioned way. We earn it. And I provide content the old-fashioned way. And I'm not complaining, I can tell you. They had a protest, a protest, and they met at the Lowndes County courthouse, is what I understand. This is
Bitch ass nigga talking to my fucking girl. Nah, back your ass or back your. Do some jumping jacks, nigga. I'm gonna pop your ass. Man, do some jumping jacks, bitch. Do some jumping jacks, bitch. Oh, yeah. Hey, now say sorry for talking to my bitch. Say fuck Chloe, nigga. Yeah, alright, bitch. Walk your ass home. I'll pistol whip your hoe ass. Walk your ass home, nigga. Run home, bitch. Don't ever talk to my bitch again, cause next time I'm gonna kill y'all.
On Saturday. Now, if you wanted to have a protest, glad they did not, I would have gone. I wouldn't, if I'd have been, said, what's your opinion on a protest? That's a good idea. Where should we have it? Well, what day do you want to do it? Saturday. I said, well, that's real simple. In front of the sheriff's house. He'd be home on Saturday. Should be. That's where I'd be having it. Wouldn't be at the courthouse, but that ain't open. There's plenty of parking. And there you have it. They had their third string news media come out there and cover it. They covered it. But once again, no, that done investigative journalistic bone and done body, WCBI, Columbus, Mississippi, WTBA, and Tupelo, Mississippi, the Daily Journal, and Commercial Dispatch newspapers, respectively. And the tabloid, corrupt, cop-loving packet. That's what they got. And but the good news is, folks, is and I want to tell everybody I appreciate you, that we're not trying to win any prizes here. In the last 30 days, this channel has had, last 30 days, channel has had 2.4 million views. So, WCBI, WTVA, and the newspapers, and the tabloid joke collectively can't get on the bench with me. Now, I just thought I'd throw that out there. And I'm the guy that they said, well, just give it time. They'll lock him up again, or he's going to end up, somebody's going to kill him, or whatever. Well, be that as it may, the show must go on, and it will go on. God put me here for a reason. And I'm satisfied that I'll be here until he changes his mind and decides he wants me to do something else. Not 1 second before. I'm going to continue to tell the unadulterated truth. So, about 50 people showed up. And I commend those people. And my heart goes out to the young man that had to endure this public humiliation. And I understand there were 5 or 6 white people at that protest. And at 13 years old, he has got a real clearer picture of that racial divide. And it's a big problem. When things like this happen and people are murdered at the hands of criminals with badges, or even if a deputy sheriff is traveling at an excessively high speed going to a domestic disturbance call, which protocol is that they go to these things with no sirens or lights, but is running sirens and lights. And on a Sunday, on a 2-lane highway, there in, I believe it was in Steens, right outside of Columbus, and this 85-year-old Sarah Jackson, a grandmother, great-grandmother, is turning in. She's T-boned by this deputy and killed instantly. And we hadn't heard any more about this deputy because the deputy's white. Now, but here lately was a black deputy that hit a telephone pole. And Eddie Hawkins wrote a 300-page report on him. But, you know, the coon army is strong in Lowndes County. As far as the incident with the 2 boys, Scott Cologne, a district attorney, said he was going to present it to the grand jury for to seek an indictment. Don't hold your breath, boys and girls. It ain't going to happen. If y'all go ahead and write that down, that's why I see it. Okay? That's why I see it. That's the deal. Why did he say that? Well, because he's coon mandering. That's why he said that. Because they said, where's our voice? If you're a black and live in the 16th Judicial District and you're not a coon, you're just a black American citizen trying to live your life and make your way and to have your family and take care of your family and do the best you can do. Let me tell you the representation you got. You ain't got none. But neither does a white man. But white privilege and that white privilege card is still being played. And that is still on the table for a lot of white, but not all of them. By God, I've never had one and won't get one. I'm satisfied with that. That's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you why it's not going to happen. I'm going to make it real clear. When I call them criminals with badges and criminals, these had some doing some construction here, and I'm making too much noise for myself. And these people and these prosecutors and judges, they're on the take. Let me just give it to you. Let me keep it real with you, folks. So, who is this white kid that made this a threat? Well, I can tell you what I do know. I'm going to give you, so he said, well, the news covered this. And no, they hadn't. They've talked about the video, and they've talked about the protest and all that. They have not given y'all the story. Now you're going to get the story. And then you'll see the difference between what we're doing here and what you're getting from these fake media and the haters. You see, the kid, I get to my notes, has an uncle. And his name is Jonathan Marshall. John Boy. Who is John Boy? Well, John Boy is older than me. Is a Simon City Royal. That is a criminal gang and deemed a criminal enterprise by the Department of Justice. It wasn't that long ago. RICO almost 60 of them for murder and racketeering and so forth. And this drug distribution and so forth and so on. Yeah. Now, I'm putting this, he is his involvement with a boot camp for militarized stalking, snitching, rats, working for criminals with badges. And that's Bodybuilder's ministry, his affiliation with Crossroad, Sober Living. I've already talked about Sober Living, and one of the biggest federal indictments in this country for Medicare fraud was by Sober Living in Arizona. It's a franchise deal, and the window wash and this and everything is all akin to a real Christian deal. And if you're not a true born again believer, you hadn't read that book, and you don't know the author of that book, you might be fooled. I'm not fooled, and I called them out. So Jonathan Marshall, that's his uncle. So who is Jonathan Marshall? Simon said, Roy, and this is Bodybuilder's ministry, and you see that logo. It looks like a takes a cross, but notice it's a dagger type cross, not just a squared off blunt cross. And you see that what people that don't know what they're looking at, looks like a bee or maybe two bees. Let me put up a Simon City Royal image. You see the cross and the three. So that if you look at the bodybuilders, you're going to see that three is just kind of staggered. It's shattered. Now, I'm going to tell you why it looks like that. For those that know, gang, the gang world and the gang life and what really goes on, I can speak on it with authority. I don't talk about that. It's not necessary that I talk about that unless it's in the proper context that I'm putting in today. I know what I'm talking about. And all of those affiliations know that I know what I'm talking about. Now, Of course, Jonathan Marshall, his involvement, John Boy, when the Almighty is the fam, the nation. They are. We can't serve two masters, folks. You know the deal. It appears to be a Christian. The Ku Klux Klan had a cross in their deal. There's the swastika is a look it up. It is a cross in motion. The cross has been prostituted for ages under the guise of some sort of Christianity, including Freemasonry, with the G in the middle. It stands for God. No, it's for geometry. Got thing to do with God. God forsaken. Kevin Foerster, a deputy sheriff, Lowndes County, and John Boy are inseparable, and they're more than friends. Who is Kevin Foerster? He retired. I understand he came back, and he's got a history, folks. Now, we can't talk about Kevin Foerster or any of this without talking about, of course, Crooked Eddie and the scheme of things and this cesspool of corruption in Lowndes County. When Ryan Taylor was murdered on July the 14th, 2020, Kevin Foerster went to the home, the last residence that he was, where he had been hanging out with his people, to the home of Shelby Dowdle. Shelby is the granddaughter of Mooney Dowdle of the Dowdle gas empire here in the South, where money is no object. These people have all, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make the case on it, sold their soul to Satan himself. The fact that that Ryan Taylor was, they claimed he was at a motel or something, was murdered in that house, and whose house it was, and Shelby was always making the deal to squeal. Mooney, the granddaddy that owned the house, that had a market value at that time, it's more than that, I'm sure now, of $450,000. Kevin Foerster, deputy sheriff, they do good down there. We'll believe this house down there by Heritage that the sheriff is a building or built. Former Mississippi Bureau of Narcotics officer, and none of his co-workers are standing. None of them had anything good to say about him. He had to get into a deal that was more lucrative and where he could run the show and never be held accountable. So with his Rolex watch and his lies and everything else in tow, he has established himself as a criminal chief. And an overwhelming majority of African American blacks there in Lowndes County make sure he stays in there sheriff. Wow. Kevin Foerster got the house for $115,000. You can't even buy a house trailer for that, boys. Okay? You can't buy a nice used trailer house, put it in a trailer park for $115,000. Okay? Now, I don't care what kind of story Kevin Foerster's got on that house. Everybody that's got just a little bit north of deaf, dumb, blind, and mute and illiterate understands exactly what time it is. So that makes everybody happy. Now, so what has John Boy got anything to do with it? Well, I didn't know Ryan Taylor, didn't know any of these people. It was only 2 years later that I got wind of the story. I did just a little bit of research. It didn't take much. I knew then, and I said this, I believe it was June of, so here, it was June the 22nd, 2022. I did a video and released 2 copies of it on that day. I said in that video what I believe happened, and I stick to what I said. I said it was my opinion, and I tried my best to be as a slippery slope, folks. A slippery slope. I absolutely deplore and detest a snitching rat. These snitching rats go out here and they under it's different symbols and imagery. If you don't know about that gang life, what's going on, you're not going to see it. You're going to see one thing. Those that know what time it is. When I saw this bodybuilders ministry and their insistence on prominently using blue and royal blue, that's a tenet of Simon C. Rolls and Gay's disciples. A Facebook post shows that a call that we're having a photo for all our members or whatever it is, but there was a prerequisite. They had to have on bodybuilder gear in order. If you didn't have it on, you can't get in the picture. Okay. It's the same thing. And these pictures, when you look at some of these pictures I put on the screen of bodybuilder ministries, you don't see anything abnormal. I see it. I see them throwing up the gang signs. This is a church function and all that, and they're throwing it up there. I'm sure God is amused with that. I'm not. God sees all this. Let's talk about something else. Yeah, put a picture of Simon City Roll showing the same hand signs, and I'm not going to make those hand signs. And the only people that are supposed to be making those are people that are supposed to be making those. Okay? So, let's talk about Pigpen. What is Pigpen? Well, for the layperson, that was the place that many claimed that, of all the other claims, that Ryan Taylor was taken to after he was murdered. And the hogs ate him. I'd heard all these things. But for those that know what Pigpen means. A Freemason, this satanic cult of Freemasonry. By the way, if the gold and royal blue, it's synonymous through this whole deal. It's Freemasonry. It's prolific in all law enforcement agencies. And it's prolific in the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department. And in many cases, it's hard to tell one from the other. So they have the white Masons and black Masons, the white SCRs and the black gangster disciples. Apples for apples, folks. A Pigpen is That's, in my knowledge, is originally derived from that's straight from Freemasonry. Another word for pig pen is cipher. As these gangs use ciphers, the cipher was a lot of ciphers there. There's a lot of ciphers there, especially the date that Ryan Taylor was murdered, which was July the 14th, 2020. July 14th. It's it was a lot of important things happened at that time, but this was a trophy killing for the whole world to see, and the whole world, their world, has seen it. Hey, what time it is? At 7:14 and 2020. 2020. You see it. Okay. At 2022, I did a broadcast about Ryan Taylor. It was 42 minutes and 42 seconds long, and I posted it twice. There were several reasons that was in there like that. I said what I said when I said it. A lot of people that needed to see that did see that. We would make sure there wasn't any misunderstandings that I'm not misunderstanding anything. Now, there's been a lot of money spent and time cultivated in trying to get to the bottom of Brian Taylor's murder. I'm sure the family spent a war pension. The Commercial Dispatch did a little article not long ago about Ryan, a little snippet, something to slide in the bird cage, and that was really an eye-opener. But because of certain people's insistence to have their head stuck a mile up the crooked sheriff's ass and go for the storyline of marginalizing and criminalizing the messenger, I received zero support for anything that I've done. I don't do this for anybody's support. That's why I tell you we're supported by you. You know, we can't do what we're doing. I think that it's that Ryan Taylor should never lose his voice. I don't care what he was involved in, what they try to make it look like. I believe that justice needs to be served, and I have said that story is not going to change. I went back before I went on there. I said I will look back. I will see, because our content's monetized, exactly how much USAGSA earned on anything to do with Ryan Taylor. $12 and some change. $12 and some change. I have laid my life on the line many times. I talk about things that will get you killed. I'm passionate, and I'm satisfied that God will take care of me. I'm going to tell the truth, the unadulterated truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God, and that's what it is. So you got this bedfellow syndrome. Now, so this racist kid that threatens the life of this 13-year-old kid, black kid, where were the churches? How many churches in the congregation showed up down at the Lowndes County courthouse and said, we shouldn't have this type of racial intolerance. We shouldn't have this. And where's the sheriff, and why wasn't he there? They don't care, because they are more interested in this social engineering than they are of evangelizing and reaching out to people that are hurting, people that need help, people that have nothing. And then when they hem these people, when they do hem these people up, they turn them into rats, run them in a fake church. I ain't never seen so many rats congregate in one place in my life. Just watching these people one after another talking about redemption. Let me tell you, how about doing this? How about next time you get up there and you give this speech, everybody thinks, oh, thank God. God ain't got no part of a snitch. Judas was the first snitch, the first rat that betrayed Jesus Christ with a kiss. And you think somehow that God has decided that's acceptable. First thing you need to do is why don't you get up there and put it on Facebook that, yeah, I'm a sorry son of a bitch, and I went to this, didn't even know me, or this is my best friend, made up and planned, did this, knocked his head off, sent him to penitentiary, lost his family and his kids. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear any crap how some pasty-thighed, limp-wristed nobody has told you this is the way to and everybody's slapping you on the back, and now you're fitting in and you're accepted. I reject the Judas mentality and the spirit of Judas, and I'll continue to do that. And I'm satisfied God is on that deal. I'm on the right side of this. When thousands have decided to destroy one individual, yet he's still standing, still talking about it, still growing, and still shaking and moving, still pissing people off because the people hate the truth. I can't. Some people get mad at me. But look here, I'm not running for office. I'm not trying to win a popularity contest. I don't believe I'll get Mr. Congeniality. But I may be the only one that's telling you the damn truth. I may be the only one that is going to keep it real with you, whether it sounds good or not. To keep you and your family, your loved one out of harm's way, to keep you from falling into the snares and traps of Satan himself and the apostate church and the people that have signed on to this drip of the deep state gonorrhea that's in every city, town, state in America. Crime's on the rise. Community policing's never stopped the first crime. And this social engineering project with the church in tow sounds good and all that kind of stuff. And continuously, picture after picture after picture, they're throwing up these gang signs showing their lights, not saying anything other than God. A alliance that they have made a pact with Satan himself. And just because you have a moral compass, a moral relativity, meaning that because there's so many of you and y'all believe it's right, brother so-and-so's down with it, so I'm down with it, I believe him, then that makes it right. No, it doesn't. Jesus said, remember, they hated me first. You'll be hated for his namesake. But they have decided to cast their lot with the world. And they'll have to answer for it. How many Ryan Taylors? How many more murders? Ask yourself, why is it that somebody can show up at the courthouse and only a handful of people show up? Because it's a new God, it's a new wind of doctrine. And those that are not acclimating and conforming to the way we're doing things now will be ostracized, isolated, and targeted for destruction. And we'll marginalize it. We'll write you off as a nut job, and we'll talk about everything but the truth. And that's what we have on our hands, folks. So the video, it went viral. I'm giving you what's going to happen to that. Why Now, what Scott Plum, is he not going to get an indictment? No. Why isn't he? Well, first of all, he was appointed to a federal judgeship by Biden. I believe Biden, the administration. And they may be too off wrong, but all of them be sitting in the penitentiary. Come to find out, Biden wasn't signing nothing. The other people was running the deal. That's how he got that point from Biden. Biden don't know Scott Malone. He couldn't find Columbus, Mississippi on a damn. Couldn't find Mississippi on a damn map. Like Scott Malone. Thank God, Cindy Hyde Smith stood between that crap. I'm telling you. I mean, one of the biggest, let me tell you, folks, one of the biggest, his brother runs the biggest, I'm not even going to get into it. But because he's beholden to the gangster disciples and his constituents, he's going to do what he's going to do and what he's been doing. That's the reason they couldn't get an indictment. They can indict me for thinking something. Well, we know he was thinking that. And by God, get the indictment. You can indict a ham sandwich, be a ham sandwich, but they can't. It's evolution. When somebody's murdered in cold blood, they got eyewitness, everything else, just couldn't get an indictment. The Attorney General of the state of Mississippi, Lynn Fitch, will double down on that. You can kill, steal, and destroy, and rape, have casinos, and everything else. Illegal casinos, and it's business as usual. Because it's all about the social engineering project of money and power. And damn the Constitution. Damn civil liberties. And damn your life if you get in the way. So, a criminal gangs. I'm not me calling criminal gangs. I don't think that every one of them would try to tell you in a straight face, we're not a criminal gang. It is what it is. With that said, they got a problem. They got a problem with one of their own. And it was John Boy that obviously designed that logo for Bodybuilder Ministries and this crossroads deal and all that stuff. It's clear to him and to any of the thousands of Simon City Road gang members seeing that, they know exactly what time it is. That is showing who his allegiance is to. Not God, not all the stuff they're saying, all that bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. And it's built by a gaggle of snitching, no good, good for nothing, snitching rats. That place is jam-packed with them. That's the last thing I want to hear is a testimony from some snitching rat that won't talk about, and then next thing they'll do, won't start a damn church, start evangelizing. No, thank you. No, thank you. Why don't you start to get you a job and start making your damn check down there? Then people slot the hell up, their lives wasted away in the penitentiary, didn't do anything. If you want to impress somebody, but you're putting off air that snitching for Jesus is some kind of deal. You've got the deal screwed up. Trust me on that. God didn't tell you to do it. I'll guarantee you, how many so-called fake or backslidden preachers that want to get up there and try to amen what you're doing. So that's a criminal organization I just named, and the church. I could go further on this deal with Bodybuilder Ministries, and I'm not saying that I'm not, and I won't go further. I take it all the way to the home plate. I think I've given you enough to understand the dynamics of murder, vice, drugs, all that. And they're fighting crime. They're inventing crime and making the news. It's all a show, ladies and gentlemen. It's all a show. You see these appalling things, nobody shows up. Well, now you're seeing what the numbers are between those that are real and those that are not real. That crowd of 50 down there at the courthouse is a representation of those that actually are real people, real God-fearing people in Lowndes County. All America saw it, but 50. Narrow is the way. Narrow is the way. So as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, and I will, everything that's done in dark and in secret, I'm going to get on that rooftop with it. I'm going to keep getting on that rooftop with it, whether it be uncomfortable or not, whether I get support or not. Because you see, we're not going anywhere. We're not. Thousands of new subscribers here just recently. Folks, and that's not even trying. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So there you have it with your crooked gang, criminal gang loving sheriff, prosecutor, and your fake church, and the crimes, high crimes and misdemeanors, everything in one nice little package. And to think they've got an FBI field office right there in Columbus. And I hadn't told you anything that they don't already know. So I think that we should take those who take a renewed interest in the corruption there in Lowndes County, in North Mississippi, the state of Mississippi, and get a new set of eyes at Cash Patel to look at this. And as they well know, there's been a big problem with the FBI, and I'm quite sure he's been made aware of the hot spots. But this hot spot, I don't think he's quite got the memo on it. I'm going to hold out that he hadn't. But you can hold out to bet one thing, he's going to get it. He's going to get it. And they know that what I'm saying is the gospel. I don't talk about them getting it. They know when I say they're going to get it, they're going to get it. That's right. That's right. Until we see these criminals, these people in positions of trust that have absolutely betrayed this country and broke their oath intentionally and committed crimes unspeakable until they were dragged off and perp walked. I'm telling you, I don't even think about sitting down or shutting up. Folks, I appreciate you. Hit that like button, share, and share relentlessly. If you're not subscribed, ask you to subscribe. Let me hear from you. Till next time, God bless you.
Open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype